Hello everyone, I am Nitin Cheke, student of Brisang Institute Pune, and my today's video topic is human circulatory system, respiratory system, and nervous system. First of all, I will discuss about human circulatory system. The heart is the main circulatory organ, as it has to pump the blood for all parts of the body. The heart is situated in a middle of thoracic cavity called mediastinum, and it is present between two lungs. The human heart follows two types of circulation: pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. The pulmonary circulation is occurs between the heart and lungs, while the systemic circulation is occurs between the heart and body organs. First of all, I will discuss about what is pulmonary circulation. The course of the blood from the right atrium to the course of the blood from the right ventricle to the left atrium via lungs is called as a pulmonary circulation. The right atrium pumps the deoxygenated blood into the pulmonary trunk, and the pulmonary trunk carries the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for the oxygenation. And after the oxygenation, this blood enters into the left atrium via pulmonary veins. While in systematic circulation, the left ventricle pumps the oxygenated blood for all parts of the body. Systematic circulation means the course of the blood from the left ventricle to the right atrium via body organs. It is called as a systemic circulation. The left ventricle pumps the blood to all parts of the body. The left ventricles pump the blood into the systemic aorta, which carries the blood to all parts of the body except the lungs, while the deoxygenated blood from all organs of the body is carried to the right atrium via inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. Now I will discuss about the structure of the heart. The human heart consists of a fourth chamber, the upper two atria and lower two ventricles. The two atria are separated from each other through the interatrial septum, while the two ventricles are separated from each other through the interventricular septum. The right atrium and right ventricles are separated from each other via atrioventricular aperture, and the tricuspid valve is present between right atrium and right ventricle to prevent the backflow of the blood, while the left atrium and left ventricle are separated from each other via left atrioventricular aperture, and between left atrium and left ventricle the bicuspid valve is present to prevent the backflow of the blood. The deoxygenated blood is enter into the right atrium from all organs of the body via superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Then this deoxygenated blood enters into the right ventricle through the right atrioventricular aperture, where the backflow is prevented by the tricuspid valve. Then right ventricle pumps the deoxygenated blood into the pulmonary trunk, which carry the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for the oxygenation. And after the oxygenation of the blood, this oxygenated blood enters into the left atrium via pulmonary veins. Then the left ventricle pump the blood for all organs of the body. Hence the left ventricle has a thick wall as compared to the right ventricle. Then this oxygenated blood from the left ventricle enters into the systemic aorta, which carries the blood to all organs of the body except the lungs, while the deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body enters into the right atrium via superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. So in this way I have discussed about human circulation. Now I will discuss about respiratory system. Respiratory system is also one of the most important system of the body which help us in breathing. There are several other functions of the respiratory system. Because of the respiratory system, it is possible us to talk and to smell. Respiratory system is also help in exchange of the gases. It allows the oxygen inside the body and remove the harmful carbon dioxide and several harmful gases outside the body. Respiratory system also provides the oxygen to all the cells of the body. Respiratory system regulate the temperature and humidity of the inhaled air. It also protects the entering the harmful irritant and harmful substances into the airway passages. There are several organs involved into the respiratory system and they work in coordination with each other which help us in breathing. Respiratory system consists of a nose and mouth, sinuses, pharynx, trachea and lungs and bronchial trunk. So first of all, mouth and nose. The air is enters into the respiratory system via mouth and nose. Sinuses are the organ that regulate the temperature and humidity of the inhaled airs. These are the hollow area present between the bones of the head. Then pharynx. Pharynx is also called as a throat. The air which is enters from the mouth and nose is carried towards the lungs via pharynx. Then trachea. Trachea is also called as the windpipe and it connects the pharynx to the lungs. Then there are bronchial tubes. Bronchial tubes are the type of tubes that are present at the bottom of the trachea that connect the trachea to the lungs. Then the last organ of the respiratory system is the lungs. There is a pair of a lung is present into the respiratory system and lungs separate the oxygen from the air and transport it to the blood system. There are several other organs are also present into the respiratory system. There are some muscles and bones which help in the movement of the oxygen and the movement of the air. There is a diaphragm and some ribs are present that allow the movement of the air into the respiratory system. Respiratory system is also consist of several other parts like alveoli is a sac-like structure that filter the air. Then cilia. Cilia is a hair-like projection that prevent the entry of the harmful substances and irritants into the airway passages. Then epiglottis. Epiglottis are the flapping tissues which are present at the entry of the trachea that prevent the entry of the food and liquid into the airways passage when we swallow the food. Then there is a larynx. Larynx is the organ which is mainly responsible for production of the sound and larynx are the organ because of which it is possible us to talk. It is also called as a voice box. That's all about the respiratory system. Now I will discuss about human nervous system. All the living organisms have characteristic ability to respond to the internal and external stimuli. Because of development of the nervous system, it become easy to respond to the internal and external stimuli. The human nervous system is consist of three types: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomous nervous system. The central nervous system is consist of a brain and spinal cord. The brain is divided into three main parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The forebrain is consist of a occipital lobe, cerebrum, and diencephalon. The occipital lobe is mainly responsible for sensation of a smell, while the cerebrum is the largest part of a forebrain. It occupies near about 80 to 85% place of a forebrain. It consists of a general motor area which is responsible for controlling the voluntary activities. Then it also consists of a association area which is associated with the intelligence, memory, judgment, and problem solving abilities. Then there is a Broca's area. The Broca's area convert the thoughts into the speech. It controls the movements of the lips, tongues. Then forebrain is also consist of a diencephalon. Diencephalon consists of epithalamus, thalami, and hypothalamus. Then the second part of the brain is a midbrain. Midbrain is the middle part of the brain, and it consists of corpora quadragemina and crura cerebri. Then corpora quadragemina control and coordinate the movement of the head, and crura cerebri connect the cerebrum, cerebellum, and spinal cord. It also act as a relay center, and it also form the RAS network which control the muscle tones. Then there is a hindbrain. Hindbrain consists of a cerebellum, pons varolai, and medulla oblongata. The cerebellum control the activities like equilibrium, posture, balancing, and orientation. It also control the activities like walking, running, working, and speaking. Then the next part is a pons varolai. Pons varolai connect the cerebrum with the medulla oblongata. Then third part of the hindbrain is the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata control the involuntary activities like the heartbeat and respiration. So these are the three main parts of a brain. Then there is a next part of the central nervous system is a spinal cord. Spinal cord contain the nerve impulses from brain to the all organs of the body. That is, it contains the nerve impulses from brain and to the all parts of the body. It also controls the spinal reflexes and also minimize the load of a brain. Then now we will discuss about peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. The peripheral nervous system consists of three types of the nerves, that is the sensory nerves, motor nerves, and mixed nerves. The sensory nerves contain the nerve impulses from sensory organ to the central nervous system, while the motor nerve contain the impulses from sensory central nervous system to the sensory nerves conduct the impulses from sense organ to the central nervous system, while motor nerve contain the impulses from central nervous system to the motor organs, while mixed nerves contain both sensory nerve as well as motor nerve, and they conduct the impulses by both ways. Now I will discuss about the autonomous nervous system. The autonomous nervous system consists of a sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system consists of 22 pairs of sympathetic ganglia, and it work in conditions like stress, anger, flight, fright, fear, and pain. The sympathetic nervous system releases the two hormones like the adrenaline and noradrenaline. These are the hormones that are secreted in an emergency condition. Then there is a parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system consists of a parasympathetic ganglion which are present on a side of organs like the stomach, lungs, and kidney. Parasympathetic system releases the acetylcholine which act as a neurotransmitter. So in this way we have discussed about a human nervous system. Thank you.